What is up, y'all? It is your boy ABK, and thank you for entering back into the Hiiipower Podcast. I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Alright, so today what I want to do is I want to explain to y'all exactly what Hiiipower is, why I decided to do the name change, and what's going to be going on moving forward. So, reason why I decided to change my name from the Nigger Room to the Hiiipower Podcast was a lot of multiple things. The number one reason is because, me as a businessman, me as an entrepreneur, not that because I'm doing this podcast just to speak my mind and talk about issues that need to be talked about, but is that I want to be able to have a wider audience. I had thought about it, and it's funny because what initially made me want to change my name was honestly my mentor. He's the one that said, "Yo, if you want to be doing your thing and being in this business and stuff like that, you got to make yourself look professional. And calling your podcast the Nigger Room is not professional." And at first I was like, well, that's true, but I'm just trying to reach a certain audience and stuff like that. But when I think about it, when I really do think about it, that's not a wise thing to do as a business person, because as a business person, you want to be able to hit all types of audiences. You want to be able to not relate to everybody, because there's no way you can relate to everybody, but you want to be able to advertise something that's highly advertisable. Like the Nigger Room, when you really think about it, you can't advertise it because people are afraid to say the word, which I don't blame them. Come on. I'm just gonna take these headphones off because it's annoying me. But people are afraid of using the word the nigga, period. So for them to try to go and try to advertise for me, or even say, oh, I listen to this podcast, it's kind of hard because they're afraid of saying the name of the podcast itself. So that's one thing that I had to think about and be like, damn, I really do need to switch up. Another thing that I thought about was that it's just that the word itself, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna be saying nigga till the day I die probably, but when I really think about it, it's not a lot of people in the black community, and I've had several discussions about this throughout my times, that they don't necessarily like the word because it's showing that it's not a word that the history of it is good, because obviously slave masters in the past, they've said that, oh, nigger, Nigger instead of Nigga. And usually my response to that is true, but we're not using it as a form of disrespect towards each other, as how people, how they used to back in the day, used to use it as a form of disrespect or show that you're lower than somebody. We use it as we use it for different reasons, honestly. And one thing that somebody brought up to me, and I was like, damn, I never thought of it that way. It's the same thing with females. Females, they get to call each other bitch all the time, but then if a man goes and calls them a bitch, they get offended by it, right? And they have every right to. So why is it such a big deal for black people to say nigga? Is my thing. I don't even care if somebody else calls me a nigga. As long as you don't disrespect me, then I'm cooling with you calling me a nigga. Because, like I said, it's a word. It's not like we can just eradicate the word as a whole, because there's probably 20% of people who say that we shouldn't use the word, and 80% of people who say we should, or vice versa. Don't know, but you gotta just when I just think about how I should advertise myself, I would nah, I really shouldn't have the Nigger Room as my podcast name, because that's just, it's not going to be able to be advertised well, Even when you let's say for instance, like when I get on TV and stuff like that, or when I start blowing up, and then I'm like, oh, what's your podcast name? Nigga Room. I'm like, oh, well, we can't put that on our channel, we can't put that on our show, or whatever, stuff like that. So that's the reason why I decided to change the name. But now, some people have been asking me, what does high power actually mean? High power was created by, well, let me not say created, but high power was brought to my attention, or it was I discovered what high power was back when I was back in 2009, 2010, when TDE, the main members of TDE, when we talk about Kendrick Lamar, Absol, J Rock, and Schoolboy Q, they were talking about high power. And what high power basically means, when you want to sum it all up, it basically means no matter what struggles that you go through, or no matter what obstacles or trials and tribulations that you go through, everything's going to be all right. And yes, high power does come in correspondence with the third eye and your pineal gland and stuff like that. And I believe in all that shit, because like I said, man, no matter how hard things may get, you can always like just find a positive from all the negativity, and then turn that negative into a positive. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm gonna push this back a little. And it's like, little story time, little thing that me and my ex, we actually we had gone to get tattoos, and I'm like, yo, I want to get high power tatted on me. Like, I have it on my wrist right here. I need to get it redone. But we had gotten these tattoos, and it's because like I really do believe in high power. Like, I really do believe in like the universe puts you in certain situations for a reason, or that the universe makes you meet people, or the universe puts you in certain situations so that you can learn from those experiences, karma and stuff like that. And so I was looking at my tattoo one day, and I was like, the High Power Podcast. That sounds pretty dope. That sounds like something that I could totally get behind, because like I said, I'm all about high power. I'm all about loving each other. I'm all about like just peace, love, and tranquility. That's the goal, man. So that's the reason why I switched it to the High Power Podcast. And now, so what I'm gonna be doing going forward is the same thing. I'm gonna be talking about topics that need to be talked about. I'm gonna be trying to motivate y'all, like whether y'all want it or not. I'm gonna bring that Sunday motivation on Sundays. I'm gonna be talking about like becoming a businessman. I'm gonna start like talking about like trials and tribulations that I've had to go through as a businessman every once in a while, or just like things that go on in my life that I feel like somebody else needs to hear, because I'm pretty sure that there's going to be somebody that's listening to this that is in the same position as I am, whether it's that they're starting to strive as an entrepreneur, or whether it be that they're starting to strive as their platform is growing, or just if they're going through hard times, because that's all that we need for motivation. We just need somebody to give us that small push every once in a while, and then we're back in business. Like I was telling my homie Cuffio, I was like, yo bro, I don't even understand, you don't even know how you don't even understand how much you inspire me and motivate me to keep going, because there are times that I'll be down and out, and then I'll be watching some of your videos about hustling and grinding, and I'm like, man, you that nigga, you better get your ass up and go and grind. So that's all I had to say. I'm just over here looking at the charts, making my money in my onesie. You know what the vibes is, man. I've been at home all day making money. Simple as that. But yeah, that's all I had to say for today. I just wanted to explain y'all, because I did tell you guys last week Sunday. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. My last podcast, I did tell you guys that I'll explain to you why I did make the name change, and all that stuff, and what is Hiiipower. So, but yeah, so I definitely hope that y'all got a little bit of insight of what's going on. Sunday we'll be posting up some Sunday motivation, and then we're gonna start talking about these topics that need to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? But this is your boy ABK, and thank you for entering back into the Hiiipower Podcast. And we out this bitch. Deuce.